the events that we've seen take place over the last 24 hours really can give us some insight into what it is we're being told by the media. And what I'm specifically talking about is the recent mall shooting. It was reported, if you were to go through like a Google feed or some sort of news feed that just gave you random different sources on news, you saw two totally different headlines. Half of what you saw said there were so many dead, including the gunman, in a mass shooting. And then half of them you saw showed the truth, which was that a legally armed man, concealed carrier, a legally armed man stopped the gunman almost as soon as it started. That's the piece that they're not reporting on. It's just kind of tucked away. It depends on the agenda that you have. This is very dangerous, ladies and gentlemen, because what is taking place is that when we see the agenda, when we see that what it is, the agenda to take away the guns, when they see that it actually works, because that it bothers them, and here's why it bothers them, and that's kind of what I want to speak to today as well, is that all of us in America, we all want the same thing. We want to be happy, we want to be healthy, we want to be successful, and we want our families to have all that as well. And when it comes to healthy or safe, when it comes to shooting specifically, we have different ways of going about it. So for some, they look at it like, we'll take all the guns away and then we'll be safe. Whereas in others, they say, well, clearly people are out there crazy, they're going to kill people, whether you take their guns or not, I want a gun. And that's what we saw take place yesterday. And that's why it's so important, because when you have really, you know, and I've said this multiple times, everybody wants the same thing in the end. We all want the same thing. We just have different ways of going about it. If we're looking at the welfare of our families, the way I see it is everywhere I go with my family, they are safer because I am there. Everywhere I go, other people are safer because I'm there. And this dialogue, to just straight up ignore that dialogue, is crazy, and it's putting a lot of lives at risk. That's why this video is so important. To not address the fact that when you take legal, law-abiding, trained citizens who know how to their way around a firearm and they're just using it for self-defense, everywhere they go in the world, that place in that world is safer because they are there. And that's the piece that, you know, for some reason, the advocates against that, they're trying to erase that. Could you imagine if you erased that? The criminals are still going to be able to get guns. Could you imagine if you erased that element? Can you imagine what would have taken place last night at that mall? Had that young man, he was only 22, by the way, had he not been there? You know, this is a dangerous dialogue, and it's, you know, there's points where you know, when people are pushing their politics or whatever, you know, I get it. You want to put a spin on stuff, but this is bigger than that. We're talking about the lives of Americans that we're talking about, and there's this whole agenda that by taking, like, if you would have taken that guy's guns, there'd be so many more dead in that mall right now. You know, the report would have been, you know, gunmen still on the loose, and, you know, I'm sure double digits dead. You know, that's, the guy shows up with a rifle and many magazines. What do you think's about to happen? But it got shut down almost, according to police, almost as soon as it started. That's safety, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you keep families safe in this crazy world. Don't tell me this world isn't crazy. That somehow people are going to stop killing people. If you take my guns, that is insanity. You know, and I know I'm just preaching to the choir here, but I think some other people got to report it. It's got to be reported. Good guy with gun saves a lot of lives. It's a great headline, and it's the true headline. Any thoughts on that? Comments? Put it below. Again, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but if you have any, put it below. Like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel with Patreon. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns.